Please adhere to YouTube select guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I, an American, am going to be drinking rum from the Philippines for the first time. Just how good or just how bad will Filipino rum actually be? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out, and I'm very curious to find out if I am going to enjoy this rum or not. I'm thinking I'm probably going to, but there's only one way for me to find out for sure, and that's to try this rum right here for the first time today. What I've got with me in specific is a bottle of the Tandway Gold Rum, which of course was made in the Philippines. This bottle cost me roughly $22 USD for 750 milliliters at my local liquor store, and for that price I got a rum with an ABV of 40%, a proof of 80, and I also got a rum that was aged for up to 7 years in ex-bourbon casks. I have heard some pretty good things online about the Tandway Gold Rum from the Philippines. I've also heard some pretty mixed things online about it as well, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about this rum in general, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to enjoy it much more so than not, because I've heard that Tandway is a pretty legendary brand in the Philippines. But I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and start going over the bottle itself. Then after that, I'm thinking I should probably go ahead and get the cap all off, go ahead and smell rum from the Philippines for the first time. Then after that, I'm thinking I should probably go ahead and pour some of it in the glass I've got right here. And then after that, I'm thinking I should probably take a sip of rum from the Philippines for the first time and find out just what I actually think of, well, Filipino rum for the first time. As said, first off though, we've got to go over the look of the bottle, which is a more simplistic, elegant look than not in my personal opinion, but there are some very nice, unique details on it. Starting off at the very top with the cap, we can see it's quite thin up here, and then it gets a little bit thicker, gets a little bit thinner again, and then we get to the actual really bottle portion of, well, the bottle, not really like the nozzle up here per se, gets a little bit thicker, and then it slowly gets thinner again, and then at the very bottom it has a little bit of a foot and gets extra thick once again. It's got a slim waist, I would have to say. I think that's a good way of describing this bottle. And we can see the cap on the top is just a normal screw-off cap. No cork here or anything like that. And the background color for the cap itself is that of black, and there are gold details all on the sides of it. We can see on the very top up here, we get a red T with a border of gold on that black background. And of course, I'm assuming that that stands for Tandway, of course. And then we can see there's some designs just going all the way around, just like that in gold, and then under that there's a gold line right there, and under that it just says Tandway, or sorry, no, it doesn't actually say Tandway. I thought it said Tandway for some reason. I just got my words just a little bit jumbled up because my eyes tricked me just for a moment, but it actually just says Heritage Asian Cane right there, and then under that it does say Tandway, and in specific it says Tandway Distillers Inc. And that's what it says right there in black on that sort of red area right there. And that's pretty much all there is look-wise for the cap. Moving on to the front of the actual bottle itself, we can see there's some embossment on, well, the glass itself. Right here, it just says Rum of Distinction, just right there on the bottle. And then under that, it just says established 1854. So Tandway as a brand has been around for quite some time, to say the least. And under this text, there is some more embossment on the glass itself. We can see there is a T right there, the same T we saw on the top of this bottle, of course, once again standing for Tandway. And then there's like a fence design going all the way around, just like that. And then on the bottom right here, that design is pretty much just reversed, vertically that is. And in the middle, there is a very smooth portion with a label right here. We can see it's got a black background with a white Tandway logo itself. This Tandway logo has an outline of black with an outline of red around that. And above the Tandway logo, which is indeed also embossed, it just says gold right there. Then under that, it just says Asian rum under both of these pieces of text. And then under that, it just says from the tropical islands of the Philippines, really trying to drive home that this is a rum from the Philippines, of course. Of course, this is being sold in the United States. They're trying to use that as a marketing ploy, and that is 100% reasonable, and I would absolutely do the exact same thing as well. Right above the red, it just says 40% ABV and 80 proof. And on the other side, it just says 750 milliliters, and that's pretty much all that's going on the label on the front. Moving on to the back, we can see they display a bunch of the awards that they have gotten over time. And then it just says Tandway Gold Asian Rum. Once again, just a lot smaller. We see the barcode right there. And then under the awards sort of photos right there, it just says that the Tandway Gold is a full-bodied rum with a deep golden hue. Tandway Asian Rum Gold is aged in bourbon barrels with a taste profile of mature honey with hints of toasted oak, almond, and vanilla. Well, that sounds pretty good to me, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Looking forward to finding out if I actually get that flavor or not. Then under that in gold, it just has their website, a warning label from the U.S. government, and then it just says produced by Tandway Distillers Inc., and they say that they are in Laguna in the Philippines, I want to say. Just says for export only, imported by Midway USA, Manhasset, New York. And yep, that's pretty much all that's going on with the back label. Taking a look at the rest of the bottle, there's really no other designs to mention. A little bit on the bottom, but really nothing particularly significant. Without further ado, I do think it's now time for me to go ahead and get this cap all off. Just like that. And I'm thinking I should probably wipe my nose and then go ahead and take a smell of this rum for the first time. It is a little bit chilly out here though, so my nose is running just a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and smell this rum real quick. Right off the bat, it smells, I'd have to say, most similar to the Bacardi Reserva Ocho, just initially. A little bit of paint thinner. Sort of a slightly creamy smell. A little bit of pineapple, tropical fruits. And a little bit of nuts as well, I'd have to say. Yeah, very much out of a, I'd have to say, paint thinner, slightly creamy, tropical fruits, almost sort of pineapple-y like scent with an undertone of nuts. Overall, doesn't smell too bad if I do say so myself. Definitely smells a lot better than Bacardi Gold, that's for sure. Bacardi Gold smells like hell. This stuff smells a lot better than Bacardi Gold. And it smells, I'd have to say, possibly even slightly better than the Bacardi Reserva Ocho, which, well, would make more sense than this smelling like Bacardi Gold, because this is more in the price range of the Bacardi Reserva Ocho. But as I continue smelling it, that paint thinner sort of scent is going away. And I'm starting to get a richer smell, a smooth smell, and one that is very much that of, I'd have to say, a smooth, sort of milky, almost sort of almond scent with still a little bit of like tropical fruits, pineapple in there as well, I'd have to say. Well, let's go ahead and pour some of this in my glass, and let's go ahead and smell it in that as well. Thinking that will do. Just like that. And let's go ahead and just smell this just real quick. In the glass, the smell is definitely a bit more potent. It's become a little bit more paint thinnery once again. Interesting. Interesting if I do say so myself. Doesn't smell not attractive by any means. The paint thinner smell is just the alcohol, of course. But it's certainly in there, and so I have to mention it. But it does still smell quite good, and it still smells like something I wouldn't mind drinking by any means. Yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, I would have to say very much that of a, yeah, paint thinner, sort of creamy, milky almond sort of smell with undertones of tropical fruits and pineapple, and maybe a little bit of some other stuff under that. And of course, it's a much sweeter smell than not overall, I would have to say. Well, I think before I go ahead and take a sip of this stuff, I want to grab myself a screenshot real quick with the bottle and my glass in hand. So let's do that just real quick. If I possibly can. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. We will find out. Worst case scenario, I can always grab another one after this video today. But I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and actually take a sip of rum from the Philippines for the first time. Excuse me, and find out just how this stuff is, what it's like, and whether I like it or not. I'm a bit nervous. It has been a couple days since the last time I drank some straight rum, I'll acknowledge y'all, so I'm hoping that this stuff is pretty smooth. Well, let's find out just how it is. Yes, sir, and I'm saying. Good amount of burning in the back of my throat. Just kind of breathing in and out there, so there's a little bit of burn in my nose too. Not the smoothest in the world. Taste-wise, I'd have to say I'm getting a little bit of vanilla caramel. Just right off the bat. What does it say the notes are? Once again, it says mature honey with hints of toasted oak, almond, and vanilla. I'm not getting all that, I'll acknowledge. Not off the first sip, at least. Certainly better than Bacardi Gold, though. I can confirm it's definitely better than Bacardi Gold based off the first sip. Bacardi Gold is disgusting. It is the worst rum I've ever tried by far. So that's not really saying much, though, in all honesty. On this last sip, I definitely got, yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, sort of creamy, vanilla, I'd have to say caramel, maybe even a little bit of, I'd have to say, yeah, I got, I'd have to say, on that second sip, I got, yeah, like creamy, vanilla, caramel, a little bit of nuts, almond in specific. Not really getting any honey, I'll acknowledge, but overall, I'm not minding it. That was a bit rough. This, I gotta admit, it's not the greatest rum to sip straight. I've definitely had better. It's certainly better than some others I've had as well when it comes to sipping stuff straight. But I would have to say this rum is probably best as a mixer. Like, the flavor itself is pretty good. It is just a bit rough, though, in all honesty. But the flavor itself is quite good, and so I can definitely see how this rum would lend itself quite well to certain cocktails. I've heard that the Tanduay Gold is quite good in a rum and coke, so honestly, I'm very tempted to, well, make myself a rum and coke with some after I'm done with this glass, in all honesty. But I don't feel like I'm quite done talking about the flavor intricacies of the Tanduay Gold yet, so I kind of want to do that first. Yeah, okay. It's definitely giving me a little bit of a buzz. I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol, so the fact that I'm feeling a buzz is no really big surprise. But I'd have to say, flavor-wise, more so than not, I am getting not what they wrote on the back of the bottle. I am instead getting very much that of a predominantly caramel with, I'd have to say, I kind of want to say there's some chocolate in there, but I don't really know if it's chocolate. It's not like bacon cocoa. It's not like the way I think of chocolate normally. It just kind of feels like, I think it's really because there's caramel and there's vanilla, and usually a lot of times when you have both caramel and vanilla, you also have chocolate. So maybe that's what's messing me up. I'm not sure. But is there? Yeah, I'm not gonna say there's chocolate in there. Very well might be, but I'm not really thinking. It's not chocolate like I normally think of, so I'm not. You know what? No, I'm gonna say actually there is chocolate in there. It's got kind of a. You know what? I know what it is. I know what was messing me up. You don't get chocolate on the tongue, you get a chocolatey finish in the back of your throat. That's what it is, and that's what I hadn't realized. So I'd have to say flavor-wise, overall, the Tandway Gold Rum, based off of what I'm noticing right now, is very much that of a caramel, creamy, vanilla, or the Tandway Gold Rum very much has a flavor of caramel, creamy, vanilla with undertones of almond, and a finish of a dark chocolate. Am I noticing really anything else? Not really. I'm not really noticing any honey. Not really noticing any oak, per se. I'll acknowledge. My palate is probably not the most refined, though, so that might very well be why I'm not noticing those. But, you know, it's okay. I don't mind it. But it's certainly not the best sipping rum I've ever had. But I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm also not going to say it's a good sipping rum either. However, if I had to guess, where this rum shines is probably not when sipped straight. It's probably when, well, it's drank in a cocktail. That's probably where this stuff shines, if I had to hazard a guess at least. And just based off the flavor, I certainly don't think it would be bad in a rum and coke. That caramel, vanilla sort of flavor I think would also pair very well with root beer, Pepsi, a lot of other sort of dark sodas with caramel color in them and whatnot. I think it would also definitely probably pair quite well with ginger beer for making a good off-brand dark and stormy. I haven't really tried a lot of rum cocktails though, I'll acknowledge, besides like soda-based ones. So I can't say if I think it would be good in like a Mai Tai or something like that kind of thing. That's something I need to try, but I just haven't given that a go yet. But overall, I can say I don't mind the Tandway Gold. The flavor it provides is nothing super deep. It's nothing super insane by any means. It's a flavor. So the video cut off there just for a moment just because I had forgotten to delete some videos from my phone, and so my phone filled up on storage, and so the video stopped. We are back though. I've gone ahead and deleted some stuff, and we are all good. It's been about 45 seconds to 1 minute, if I had to hazard a guess at least. I was talking about something. I think I was talking about the flavor of the Tandway rum, once again, of the rum I'm drinking today. Yeah, the flavor itself is nothing particularly insane. It's nothing super deep. I'm not noticing like an insane amount of intricacies, but it's certainly a step above like the cheapest stuff, and I would have to certainly define it as being a mid-range rum on the same level as something like, let's say, the Bacardi Reserva Ocho. I would have to definitely say it's just as good as the Bacardi Reserve Ocho, and it's got around about the same flavor depth. I think the Bacardi Reserve Ocho might have a little bit more flavor depth, but not really all that much more in my personal opinion. It has been a minute since I have had some of that, though. But I'll acknowledge it's not the best sipper I've ever had. It's not a bad rum by any means. I'm not going to call the Tandway Gold bad, because it's not bad. It's just not the greatest sipper in the world. And while you certainly can sip it if you want to, I personally think it's going to be best in a cocktail. And I think it'll be pretty good in a rum and coke. And so I do think I'm going to be having myself a rum and coke made with some of it in, well, just a couple minutes after I'm done finishing off this glass and I'm done taste testing this rum once and for all. Excuse me. Is there anything else I'm noticing? I'm noticing... I do feel like there might be more depth to the flavor than I was kind of giving it credit for just a couple minutes ago. Because I am kind of still noticing some new things. Like, I'm still getting very much that caramel, like sort of like creamy vanilla, almond flavor with like an undertone of chocolate in the back of my throat. The finish is very much chocolatey. But I'm also noticing a little bit of like roasted nuts. No, I wouldn't say roasted nuts. I think that's just the spiciness speaking, because there's a little bit of hotness in the back of my throat. But I am also noticing a little bit of an almond on the finish as well. Like, I'm getting almond on the tongue, and then I'm also getting almond on the finish as well, I'd have to say, which is very interesting. I'm not really noticing any of that pineapple, tropical fruits-like flavor that I smelled when I first opened up the bottle, and I'm pretty sure that that smell is actually the caramel sort of flavor that I'm getting, if I had to guess. But yeah. Caramel, vanilla, cream, almond, chocolate on the finish, a little bit of almond on the finish as well. That's very much the flavor I'm getting. I'm not getting any honey, not getting any oak. It says toasted oak. No, I'm not really getting much of that. Maybe a little bit of toasted almond on the finish, maybe a little bit of toastedness. But I wouldn't say toasted oak per se. That was really not smooth. I haven't sipped straight liquor in a minute. I've really been going hard with the mixed drinks these days. Ouch, that hurt. That hurt. Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, overall, to sip the Tandway Gold Rum from the Philippines, I think is an alright mid-range choice. I don't think it's the greatest choice, I'll acknowledge. And as a sipper, I'm going to have to give it a 2.5 out of 4. I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 4 as a sipper. It's just a little bit rough. There's not an insane amount of flavor depth to the flavor profile. It's not bad. It tastes good. It doesn't taste chemically like Bacardi Gold does. It doesn't taste bad in any way, shape, or form. But it's a bit rough, and there's not really enough flavor depth to keep you interested when you're sipping on it straight. So as a sipper, I'm going to have to give the Tandway Gold rum from the Philippines a 2.5 out of 4, which is a not bad rating, but it's very much a slightly above mid-range rating. And that's very much how I think of the Tandway Gold rum when it comes to as a sipper. It's slightly above, like, the bare average of all rums sold in my local area. But it's certainly not nearly as good as, like, the best sipper I've ever had, such as the, well, Appleton Estates 12 and whatnot. I don't know how people swish alcohol around in their mouth and then swallow it. I gotta swallow it, like, immediately. I don't know how people do it. I've been trying to, like, swish it around a little bit. It ain't working. It is so rough. It's so rough. Oh my goodness. Alright, you know what? I'm not even going to try to finish off the rest of this glass. There's like the tiniest bit left. I am going to go get myself a Coca-Cola, and I'm going to make a rum and Coke with Filipino rum for the first time, and I'm going to find out just how the Tandway Gold is in a rum and Coke, also known as Cuba Libre, because I'm going to grab some lime juice, put some lime juice in as well. So I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm going to grab that. But I think I've said everything I wanted to say about the Tandway Gold when it comes to sipping on its own. Now let's find out how it is as a mixer. So I'm going to go get that Coca-Cola, and I'll be back, y'all. And there we go, y'all. I now have my American Coca-Cola with some lime juice from Wegmans. And, well, I've got my rum as well. So I'm thinking, without further ado, it's time for me to go ahead and mix up my drink. And I'm thinking it's time for me to find out just how the Tandway Gold is as a mixer as well. It's just okay to sip straight, but how is it as a mixer? Well, let's find out. I could use a little bit more. Nah, I think that'll do. I think that'll do. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. And let's go and pour my Coca-Cola in as well. Go and get the cap all off. This has actually been sitting in the freezer for the last 30 minutes or so. While I've been recording this video, it was room temperature before that. But I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a rum and Coke during this video, which I was thinking was a possibility, I'm not gonna want a room temperature rum and Coke, so I threw it in the freezer. Thankfully, it didn't completely freeze over. Let's go and pour this in. Not measuring anything today, I'll acknowledge. So if you guys are from the Philippines, though, let me know, how is Tandway rum generally drank in the Philippines? Is it a rum and Coke? Is it dark and stormy? Something else, maybe? Let me know how it's normally drank, or if it's drank straight normally. I'm curious to find out. It's always interesting to hear how different countries generally consume their alcohol when it comes to specific alcohols and whatnot. Of course, a lot of whiskeys are just sipped straight throughout the world, but rum, every country seems to have their different preferred method of consumption, which I think is really interesting. Let's go and mix it up just a little bit. Added just a little bit of lime juice there. I don't know if y'all saw that, though. There we go, there we go. There they go. Let's go and take a sip of a rum and Coke made with rum from the Philippines for the first time, and let's find out how it is as well. Yes, sir, and I'm saying. Oh yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah. No, I'd have to say it's pretty solid. Initially, at least, the Tandway Gold is disappearing quite easily into the flavor of the Coca-Cola. And I'm not surprised about that at all. The flavor of the Tandway Gold is very much out of a caramel, creamy vanilla flavor with undertones of almond and chocolate, which is not the most similar to Coca-Cola, because there are flavor differences, of course, but it is much more similar than not, I will acknowledge. It is a overall compatible flavor with Coca-Cola, in my personal opinion, and wow, it's working quite well together, if you ask me. You can definitely tell in there certainly is rum. I certainly am still getting a little bit of liquor flavor in there. Liquor, I hardly know her. Ah, I got him. What can I say? But the liquor flavor I'm getting is very, well, smooth, and I'm not really getting too many flavor intricacies from it. I'd have to say, if anything, I'm getting a little bit of caramel, maybe a little bit of vanilla, but that's really about it. But overall, I definitely do think the Tanduay Gold is best as a mixer. That's just kind of my personal take. Of course, that might be a controversial thing to say. I'm not sure how it's normally drank in the Philippines after all. But that's my personal take as an American. Overall, a pretty dang good mixer, though, if I do say so myself. It tastes pretty good with a Coca-Cola. Yeah, I'd definitely drink more rum and cokes made with Tanduay Gold in the future, for sure. Absolutely. As far as a mixer goes, it's a solid 3.5 out of 4. A 4 out of 4 for me, at least when it comes to rum and cokes, would be like, let's say, the Appleton Estate 12 or Old Monk. Old Monk is really good with Coca-Cola. Tanduay Gold, I gotta admit though, it's great with a with a good old American Coca-Cola. It's great in a rum and coke, if I do say so myself. Yeah, flavor-wise, it really disappears very easily. There's definitely still a little bit of rum, a little bit of liquor flavor in there. And the flavor I'm getting from that is, I'd have to say, just out of a little bit of caramel and a little bit of vanilla, cream sort of thing. But I'm really not getting anything else, and it just kind of adds to the flavor of the Coca-Cola, while the Coca-Cola kind of smooths it out and makes it where it's not harsh, not rough, not even hot in the back of your throat anymore. Yeah, overall, I gotta admit, rum and coke made with rum from the Philippines, pretty solid. Cannot complain, what can I say? And I'm getting a nice buzz going. I am definitely getting a nice buzz going, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's a bit chilly out here, but I'm feeling quite warm. I think the alcohol has definitely warmed me up a bit, I'll acknowledge. Not that I'm complaining, I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying it. But I definitely am warming up just a little bit. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Overall, what is my opinion on rum from the Philippines based off this one experience? Well, you know, my initial impressions of it... excuse me. Wow. Well, excuse me. Got my words a little bit jumbled up there. Overall, my initial impressions are quite positive. As a sipper, Tanduay Gold is just okay. It's a 2.5 out of 4, as said, which is not a bad rating, I want to acknowledge. Excuse me. But it's a rating that signifies that, for me, as a sipper, the Tanduay Gold just isn't the greatest. Might be really good for some people, maybe to some people's exact personal preferences. Not to mine. It's not quite as smooth as I would like. However, as a mixer, it's a solid 3.5 out of 4, which means it's certainly something I would buy again to use as a mixer, especially for the price, because this bottle of Tanduay Gold only cost me $22 USD, which isn't the cheapest rum you can get in my local area. You can certainly get cheaper. However, the cheaper rum you buy is gonna be crap, frankly put. I've tried Bacardi Gold, which is one of those cheaper rums, and it was horrible. Absolutely the worst rum I've ever tried. It was disgusting. Tanduay Gold is way better than Bacardi Gold, as the names would not like you to believe, because of course this has gold in the name as well. But overall, yeah, it's a pretty good mixer, very good with Coca-Cola. I think it would be good in a dark and stormy as well, just based off the flavor I'm getting from the liquor in the rum and coke. Be good with root beer as well. I think it would be especially good with root beer, in fact, with that caramel vanilla sort of flavor. And I think it would be really good as well with Pepsi. I think it'd be pretty good with Pepsi as well. Probably RC Cola too. I don't know if I've ever had RC Cola. I should try RC Cola. Isn't that sold at Food Line? I don't know. I don't even know where RC Cola is sold these days. I should buy some and try some. I should try an RC Cola rum and coke. That would be a rum and RC Cola. I need to try that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But overall, yeah, no, Tanduay Gold is a good mixer. And overall, my initial impressions of rum from the Philippines is quite positive, frankly put. I've had a positive experience today, drinking rum from the Philippines for the first time. I have enjoyed myself. The flavor I've gotten from the rum has been quite good. Not a bad flavor by any means, just a bit rough when sipping straight, but it's been a really good mixer. And overall, I'd have to say that as a mixer, I do really like, well, the Tanduay Gold, the first rum from the Philippines I've ever tried. And it's definitely made me want to try more rum from the Philippines. I'm sure Tanduay offers more than just the Tanduay Gold. I'm sure they offer some higher cask-aged versions as well, actually within the Philippines, just not in the United States. So whenever I get the chance to try some of those, I certainly am looking forward to doing so, and I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe trying some aged, well, rum from the Philippines in the future. Hopefully looking forward to doing that. I don't know if they actually sell any of that stuff. I haven't really done a lot of research on Tanduay as a brand, I'll acknowledge. So don't quote me. But if they make one variety, I figure they probably make more than one. Just might have to try more in the future. Yes, sir. It's pretty nice out here. I'm kind of warming up because of the liquor, though, I'll acknowledge. But it's a bit chilly. It's very still, though. It's getting dark, as we can see. It's been getting dark. It's nice, though. I'm not minding this experience by any means. Just drinking my rum and coke slowly. No need to drink it too fast, after all. Excuse me. Got a nice buzz going. Just chilling, just vibing. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about my kind of final thoughts on Tanduay Gold, on rum from the Philippines, or my initial experience with rum from the Philippines. Definitely say I want to try more rum from the Philippines in the future, and I can definitely say I'd buy a bottle of the Tanduay Gold again. Not to drink straight, but to mix with. I definitely make more rum and cokes with Tanduay Gold, that is for sure. Yes, sir, yes, sir. I think it would really be especially good in dark and stormy, though. I really do think it would be. It just has the flavor where it's kind of like, man, this would be good in dark and stormy. Like, it's good in a rum and coke, don't get me wrong, but I think it would be even better in dark and stormy, honestly. Yeah. Well, that's all I had to my rum and coke. And I think that's all I had to say for this video today, where I drank rum from the Philippines for the first time. I think that's everything I want to say. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have anything you guys want to mention about the rum I drank today. And leave what you guys might want to say in the comments down below. And also just let me know in specific what you guys think of rum from the Philippines, if there's any other varieties I should try in the future. And let me know what you guys think of the Tanduay Gold as well. Thank you so much for watching this video today, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video of me, an American, trying Filipino rum for the first time, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. Box, and my other channels all in the description down below. Go check them all out. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Till the next one, stay safe in peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?